Okay, welcome to the team call for Wednesday, April 25th, the last team call for April, I believe. I have been waiting since November of 2017 to have the speaker on tonight. And the reason why is because she inspired me in a way, I don't know, in a completely different way when I heard her speak at leadership. And I've been doing this longer than her, and and this is what's so great about what we do. We learn something new every day. And even though I've been doing it longer, she's way more successful than me. And I just want to soak up everything that she has to say. So when she stood on stage at leadership, there was a million light bulbs that went off in my head. And so I asked her to share a piece of her story tonight. And it's taken me a while to figure out when the perfect time to have her speak on our call would be. And we're doing the Push to Diamond right now, which I feel like there's a really small, close group of us that are all doing. We're all reading Girl Wash Your Face. I think you guys, your team is reading that too. And I can tell it's unleashing a lot of things for some people who are ready to run to Diamond and who are ready to hit Emerald and ready to change lives. So without further ado, oh wait, do you guys have any recognition that you guys want to do for tonight? I always know that you guys like to do recognition before we kick off.
Can you hear me?
Barely.
Can you hear me now?
Kind of.
Okay, I'll type it.
Oh, okay. Wait, I can hear you. Go.
Okay. I want to say Erin and Nikki are super close to Diamond, and I'm super proud of them. And also my second CBC is super close to Diamond.
Dang, girl, you're going to be like 10-star. I know that Erin is super close. You're like half an emerald away, Erin, I think, aren't you? Or like something like, or a discount coach or whatever. So I love it. Team Rising Lotus is crushing it. I think I have so much fun, and like you guys are Candace's coach, but I just love that we all work together as a team. And so tonight will be really influential for you guys. So congrats and kudos to you guys and to you, Candace. Erin is Diamond. So are you going to pop tomorrow, Erin? Maybe?
Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow will be my big day.
Oh my goodness. You're coming. You better be coming to Tahoe.
I know. I'm working on it.
Okay, cool. Congrats. Was there anyone else that has any shout outs? Are you looking at all the girls? Sorry, go ahead. Yes.
Sorry if my toddler screams. I wanted to shout out Rosie, who tomorrow will be Emerald.
Congratulations. And Stacey, it's so nice to have you back.
Yes, it's been nice to be back.
Congratulations. Anyone else? Look at that pretty girl. You see her? He's just like...
I wanted to do a shout out really quick. I don't think Katie's on, but Stacey's like killing it right now, and so I just wanted to like give her some love from Katie because I know it like is exciting Katie, and it's just nice because Stacey's pushing, and it's just really awesome seeing her back in the team page and whatnot. So
I know. I was just talking to her like an hour ago when we were talking about retreat, and oh yeah, Nixon's excited too. And I was like, who cares how long you've been a coach? Let's just all crush it. We're all going to be here forever. So, right? Good call, Janelle. Anyone else? Okay. One super quick thing, and then I'm going to introduce our beautiful lady for tonight. I have been posting a lot in the sneak peek into 2B Mindset group. I'm so pumped about that. I feel like the people who are in there are definitely interested. I've been sharing more than one post a day in there for this week because we have 7 days until it comes out. So I just asked the product team when it's going to go live, and I also asked the product team when someone purchases it, does it automatically get unlocked? So I will get you guys that information as soon as I get my answers. It usually launches midday, so probably PST midday. Sometimes they get real crazy and they launch it at like midnight the night before, but I never hold my breath for that. But I'm just so excited. The $200 challenge pack seems to be the most popular. So if you guys have people who are interested, don't think that, oh, they're just going to want the base kit or that they're just going to want Shakeology and 2B Mindset for the $160. Like almost every single one of my clients is getting the $200  2B Mindset, Beachbody On Demand, and Shakeology challenge pack. So really pumped for that. Dream big, go big with this. And my last tip for you guys, I know I've been ranting about 2B mindset, but is to do it yourself and really do it. Like if you've done 80-day obsession and you did the containers, awesome. The thing with the 80-day obsession or any other meal plan is like you can't take your containers with you. Your clients can't take their containers with them everywhere. Not everyone can do the containers. Not everyone can do 80-day obsession forever and ever. And ever and ever and ever and ever, right? It's an amazing program. I can't wait to do it. My legs, my butt, and my abs are dying to do it. This little one probably isn't going to let me do our workouts yet, but I'm just saying that 2B Mindset is a plan that you can do with any workout, and it's so flexible. So do it for you, and then it's going to really come into play for your business as well. Yes, the value is massive, like Janelle was just saying, for $200. So if you have any questions about it, I just want to make sure you guys have listened to the call that Alana did. I want to make sure that you guys are in the group and that you're being resourceful, because I can regurgitate info all day to you, but if you don't know where to get the info and how to interpret it for yourself, I just think that that's probably something that Moira is going to talk about tonight. Moira, why can't I say your name? Challenged. Okay, so she is one of our brand new superstar 15-star diamond coaches in Team Beachbody. So for all of our newbies who are like, what on earth does that mean? That means that she has helped probably way more than this, but 15 coaches hold the rank of diamond, 15 diamonds for 6 weeks or more. That is a huge deal. I have been attempting 8-star diamond for almost 2 years. So she's got 15. I'm sure she has multiple business centers. She started coaching in July of 2015. And that is a really important thing to share, because anything is possible in a short amount of time. It's not just to say, oh, look at what she did, but it's hey. It's to help you dream big and to realize that you don't need to be in this for 10 years. You don't need to know everything. And she's a mom to 2. She's a wife. She's a leader. I don't remember the name of your team, so you'll have to tell us when you come on. She's a Success Club legend, executive leader. She has all the high accolades and all the amazing things. So I asked her to talk to us tonight about developing leaders, because that is where our team is at right now. And if you don't have a team, then I suggest taking on the things that she says for yourself to become a leader. So, girlfriend, I'm going to hand it over to you. And I'd love to hear your story in the beginning.
As my kids walk in.
That's okay.
Aww. Okay, bye.
Good night.
Okay, so I want to start by saying, like, hearing you say all that, I'm like, who is she talking about? Like, I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl that went for it.
When you're done, can you come upstairs?
I will, baby, I promise. I'm just a girl that went for it, I'll be done in an hour. Okay. So, and I say that because I'm no different. I didn't come here with any special powers. I didn't come here with, any background. I mean, yes, I was a Pilates instructor for many years, and there was a mindset that I came into this with, because I was a business owner for most of my life. I always owned my own business. I always worked for myself because I'm too darn independent and can't work for anybody else, because I'm just strong-willed like that. But what I want you to know is, I truly, to the depths of my toes, and I think this is really, really, really huge, believe that anyone can do this. And when I bring that belief and that mindset into every single person that comes on board my team, that anyone can do this, my belief is spoken into them. And for example, one of my girls that's called me yesterday, and she was like, okay, I'm going to be 5-star by May 24th. I want to get serious. Let's do this. And I was like, oh, okay. She's also my coach that went Premier last year. And she is such a good example of, complete, no market, no background, no nothing, just a stay-at-home mom that is a die-hard junk food eater and hates exercising. And she's building a small empire, So you don't need to have, it actually works really against me in a huge way that I have a health and fitness background, because people look at me and go, I can't do what you do. And so it's actually a way bigger obstacle than if I was the Melanie Mitro that didn't have that background. I think that's one of the reasons why Melanie is so successful, is because she's so relatable. And so because I have that belief, and when Colleen said, it's this huge feat to be 15 star. Now that I've been in the business for a while, I'm like, that was a lot of work. That was a huge feat. But the mindset that I came in with was when I finally got it, and you guys, it was a long road. I was a challenger for 14 months. And like my coach asking me to coach was like the devil. I was like, no, I'm never going to do that pyramid thing that you're doing. Wonderful for you. So not for me. I'll take it to the grave. I used to say, I'll take it to the grave. I will never do network marketing. And so I was a challenger for 14 months. And then I was like a discount coach for 3 or 4 months. And then I finally made a decision to go all in. But when I made that decision finally, and I was transformed by coaching, transformed by personal development, transformed by this community, inspired by this community, and started to wake up with like a fire that I didn't know was possible, especially as a mom. And my life did a 180. I wanted this for everybody. So I went all in, and I got to diamond at that point. It probably took me like 60 or 90 days, like not rocket fast, but like I just did the work and I got there. I really think if you just do what we tell you to do, you'll get to diamond in 60 or 90 days. And so here's the mindset that I had. First, I thought Melanie Mitro must have like 200 or 300 diamond coaches. Like I really thought that. I was like, to be number one in this company, she must have hundreds of diamond coaches. And then when I found out what 15 star diamond was, I was like, why would that be hard? Like, this is a dream freaking job. Dream of all dreams. Why in the world would it be hard to find 15 people to do what I did in 60 or 90 days? And that's the mindset I wake up and sometimes I fall out of it, but that I go to. You guys, all you need is a couple people. That's all you need. Why would that be hard in a land of millions of miserable people? To give them the gift and the journey, the gift of this, of all of this. It is the opportunity of the lifetime. It is the gold at the end of the rainbow. And you get to be the person to give that gift to somebody. Like, that is so freaking cool. And so, yeah, I truly believe that this is for everyone. This is for the 65-year-old woman, the 22-year-old college grad, the whatever. Like, there is a piece of this for everyone that is a solution. And so what I want to talk to you about is that journey, and I'm so big on mindset. And so that journey for me looked like, being totally wrapped up in fears, being totally wrapped up in what people were going to say about me. And I had a reputation, people were going to gossip. What in the hell is Moira Kucaba doing? She's a Beachbody coach. Like, okay. And I finally got to the place where I attached myself enough to this community of badasses that I was willing, because I wanted this so bad and I wanted to be part of it. And I wanted to be one of those girls that was so strong in who she was and that was inspiring hundreds and thousands of women and crushing it financially and living a life of fucking freedom. I wanted that so badly that I finally, after 18 months, got to a point where I literally felt like God was saying, you have every single thing you have ever desired and a roadmap in front of you on a silver platter. And you're not going to do it because you're scared of what people think. Like, are you going to be that girl? And I was like, I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be that girl that chucks my dreams because I'm scared of somebody saying no, or I'm scared of gossip, or I'm scared of judgment. And so I knew that when I went for it, I was going to go all in, because I wasn't going to be the cheesy Beachbody coach that failed. I was going to be the kick-ass Beachbody coach that showed them, how it was done. And so I just had to jump off that cliff. And here's something that's really important. I was thinking about this earlier today as I was thinking about this call, because I was talking to a lot of my coaches. Like, a coach said to me, I'm trying to work up the confidence to reply to people that like my social media posts. And I was like, oh dear God, like, that's the freaking easiest invite in the world. You got a long way to go, girl. But I remember when I was there, and a lot of times people will say, what personal development are you reading? Like, it's all about personal development. No, it's not. Like, I am all about personal development. Everything is all about personal development. But walking through your fears and gaining confidence doesn't come from necessarily reading books for 6 months. It comes from action. It comes from doing. It comes from just freaking ripping the Band-Aid off and sending 40 invites out. Do not, and this might be a little over the top, but like, do not invite 3 people a day. That is the most painful, torturous way to build a business. You know, the first 3 invites are like the first mile. You guys, I don't know if any of you have ever run. There was a time when I thought I had to run. I freaking hate running. Thank God for Beachbody. But I was like a half marathon runner. And the first mile, I'd be like tripping over my feet. I'd have a stitch in my side. I'd feel like, am I really like running 12 miles every weekend? Like I cannot get through this first mile. I feel like an idiot. Like I feel like I've never run in my life. And then in mile 2, you hit your stride and you run 12 miles. That is exactly what inviting is. And if you invite 3 people every freaking day, you are running 1 mile every day and it sucks. It is so much easier. When I sit down, I invite 25 or 50 people at a time. And a lot of them are follow-ups now because there's tons of conversations that I've had over the last 2.5 years. But it is so much easier to invite in mass than it is to invite 1 person at a time. And if you want massive success, it doesn't come from inviting 3 people a day. So that's just one kind of shift. So the other thing that I want to say is like just mindset wise, you have to focus on the wins. You have to focus on the good. And when I say like gaining confidence, let me backtrack a little bit. When I say gaining confidence through just ripping the Band-Aid off and taking action, when you're scared out of your mind and you send 40 invites that are so scary, I can pretty much tell you what the numbers are going to look like. Probably 25 of them are not even going to respond. 8 or 10 of them are going to say no thank you. But 5 of them are going to respond. And 1 of them is going to thank you from the bottom of their heart because they are so broken. And you have no idea how much you reaching out to me means. That I'm so ashamed of myself right now. And I've fallen off the wagon 1,000 times and I can't look at myself in the mirror. And thank you for reaching out to me. I need help. That right there is what gives you the confidence to know you are freaking doing what you are put on this earth to do. And then you invite another 50 the next day because that feels so damn good that you want more of it. And you start changing people's lives. That's when you get the confidence. You're not going to get the confidence from reading a book and not taking action and trying to move things around in your brain. You get the progress in every area of your life that you're working on through action. So when I say focus on the successes, this is like, I love kind of painting this picture. So I invite, my thing with my team is if you have to invite 100 people a month to get Success Club 5. It's just pretty much what I know is textbook. Invite 100, you'll get 3. And people are like, oh my gosh. So new coaches, it of course looks something like this. Like my closing ratio is not better than y'all's. I just talk to more people. That's it. And so when I talk to new coaches, and this just happened with my sweet little niece, she's like, oh, like we're having weekly calls and we're like trying to work through all the struggles and all the stuff. And she's like, it's just so hard. Nobody is saying yes. And I'm going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with these people. And they just never purchase. I'm like, how many conversations do you have going? Or how many people have you invited is what I said. And she thought about it and she told me 8. And I was like, girlfriend, let me just teach you a little thing or two. You have to invite 100 to get 3 yeses, bottom line. And you've invited 8. If I invited 8, I would have 0 yeses. And so you are 100% focused on 8 no's. I invited 100 and I only got 3 yeses, but I'm super excited about those 3 yeses. I'm ready to change their life. We are back and forth. I'm setting them up with prep. We are getting them in a challenge group. I'm asking them about their goals. I am so freaking on fire about my 3 yeses. My energy is like contagious. And I'm so excited that I planted 97 seeds because very few people say yes the first time or the second time or the third time or the fourth time. I planted 97 seeds. Those are all wins in my book, every single one of them. And what happens is we focus on the no's. We focus on the negative. We focus when we're not talking to enough people. Say you're at SC2 right now and you have 2 conversations with your girlfriends going and you need them to purchase by Sunday night so you hit Success Club. You need those people to say yes. All your eggs are in those 2 baskets. There is pressure. There is not good energy. And then when those people don't pull the trigger, guess what? You're mad at your friends. You're irritated with them. You're sick of their excuses. I don't have time for any of that in my life. I talk to enough people that, yes, I call them on their objections, but I totally honor them where they're at. I totally have this love for helping them. And I just say, no worries, girl. I'll just check back with you next month. And it's this lovely exchange. And I check back with them next month and hopefully they're ready. So you have to talk to enough people where and that's, I'm very analytical, and I don't shouldn't say I don't like emotions, but I don't like the emotional roller coaster. Like when I got into this, I was like, whoa, this is a lot. And I was like, I don't like feeling the stress. I don't like feeling the pressure. I don't like feeling any of that. So what is the formula I can come up with that I know I'm going to get in Success Club every single month? And so I sit down the first few days of every month and I bang out 100 invitations because I know I'll hit Success Club by the 5th or the 6th. And then the rest of my month is just gravy. The rest of my month, I get to pour into my coaches. I get to build a team. I get to talk to people about coaching. And that's the other thing that's kind of goes without saying. What I'm saying here is you have to lead with a servant's heart. You have to wake up every day and know that if you just go out there and try to help the world, the success will come. And you pour into people, whether they're going to sign up or not sign up, or coach or not coach. I remember talking to a coach of mine, and I'm like known for like queen of the coffee date. I always go out to coffee with people because I just want to get away from my computer. I mean, who doesn't want to like sit outside like I did today and like sip a macchiato at 2:00 with like an awesome girl? I'm not worried. I'm not angry if she doesn't sign up. It's a seed planted. It's a relationship built, and it made my day awesome. And so I was talking to one of my coaches about this, and she's like, Moira, I just don't have time for that. Like my kids are only in school from this time to this time. And I was like, if you don't have time for that, you're not going to build the business you want to build. You can't have that mindset for if I give this, I need to get back this. You can't. You just have to wake up and serve. And that's a quote from one of my favorite books, or a quote from one of my favorite books is The Go-Giver by Bob Burg. And he says, your true worth is the measure of how much more you give in value, how much more you give in value than you receive in payment. And when I read that, I was like, I know that's truth. I know that's how I got to show up. And that's how I will also have massive success. I've just got to pour value into the world. So, one of the things that my story is that my life was not drastically changed by being a challenger. My life was drastically changed by being a coach. So I came into this when I started coaching, having a passion for bringing people into coaching, because that was just my journey. And so when I remember one of my very first coaches, when I started signing up coaches, she was my first coach. She was like, well, how are you signing up all these people? Like, what are you saying to them? And I was like, I don't know. What do you like? I didn't know what she was asking me really. And she's like, well, what are you like saying to them? Because obviously you're signing them up to get them under you. And I was like, oh, that thought's never crossed my mind. Like that thought has never crossed my mind. I've never thought about signing up a coach so they go under me so I earn income. Never. Like it comes from me just wanting you to have this gift in your life. And you have to lead that way. And so when I sit down and life goes on, and a lot of my coaches were like, what in the world are you saying on these coffee dates? And I was like, I've never really thought about it. And so I really had to think about it because it was obviously working. And what I really gathered was I just share my passion. And like I come to freaking life when I talk about coaching because of what it's done for me. And I want that for them so bad. And I tell them my story, and I just tell them my story, and I tell them how I think it could be a solution for them. And so I've had so many coaches tell me, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just wanted what Moira had. And she got me so excited that I just was like, sign me up, and it was funny because I was on a coffee date one time at one of our little coffee houses here. And one of my coaches was there, and I turned around and I was like, hey, and I was like, oh my God, she has her containers out. That's the difference between my coffee conversations and their coffee conversations. She has her containers out, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's not. But I was like, she is straight up selling a product. She is selling a product. I've never even bring people Shakeology samples. I can't tell you how many times I've been in conversation and I'm like, I really wish that I had Shakeology samples, but I feel like that's a little MLM-y. Here's my Shako sample, you know? So if the conversation goes there, I'm like, girl, I'll drop you by some samples at your house. But I'm not going to pull it out of my pocket and try to get them to buy my product. I'm there to talk to them about their life and how it can change as a result of being a coach or a challenger. So you've got to kind of lead from that angle of just passion. People don't buy products, they buy feelings, they buy emotions, they buy what you have, meaning your life. And so one of the things, sorry, I have like all these windows opening up on my computer. What you've got to ask yourself, and what I asked myself a lot in the beginning, like I had all the fears, I had all the self-limiting beliefs, why I can't do this, why I'm not going to be successful. I don't really have the time. I don't have the right background. I don't know anything about social media. I'm truly an introvert. I might be extroverted when I get talking about coaching because I get really excited. But like, I don't really like to talk to lots of people. I actually don't. I like to be with like my 3 besties and that's it. I don't even like to go to like weddings because it's just too many people. I don't really like big social functions. And so I had all these limiting beliefs that I had to be this other person, that I was comparing my insides to other people's outsides. And that will take you out of the game quicker than anything. Comparison is not the thief of joy. It is the thief of your dreams. It'll hold you back from everything. And so what I did just kind of organically was I started following top coaches. I started like listening to a lot of YouTube, coach stories and success tips. And what I really started to understand was like, oh, Melanie Mitro, this number 1 girl, is kind of just like a girl next door. Like she's kind of goofy. She's kind of like, like there were things that dispelled my limiting beliefs. I remember Raina was in the top 10 and I remember hearing Raina's story of like, she grew up in like a town of like 12 or something, not that small, but like a super small town. She knew no one. And she was a top 10 coach. So like there were concrete examples in the coach network that just smashed every limiting belief that I had. And I looked for those. I sought them out because I didn't want my limiting beliefs to hold me back. And what I remember really owning and kind of stepping into when I would get caught up in that fear and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so scared about what my neighbors are going to say if I like invite them to my challenge group. I remember just going, would Lindsay Matway, I always had Lindsay and Amy in my mind. Amy's my up line. And I'd be like, would Lindsay Matway or Amy Silverman give a shit what this girl thought? And it wasn't that they came from this pompous place. It was like, no, they're so successful and they are helping so many people and they don't need their neighbor in South Carolina to sign up with a challenge pack, that it would just be like, it would just roll off their back. Like the no would just roll off their back and they would move on to the next one. Or even if they were going to be judged, it would just roll off their back and they would move on to the next one. And I had to like embody that. And I had to pretend like I was that person in some of those messages that I was scared to send out. But I took action, and walked through those fears. And you got to do the same. And so what I really want to talk about too is, I know we've still got time left, which is great. There's 2 things that I think hold a lot of people back. And that is, your vision. And I talk a lot about this. It's like, I'm all about vision. And don't overcomplicate this. I think that is the biggest thing that makes people fail is just the overthinking. Like, again, I'm not throwing my team under the bus at all. I love them dearly. But sometimes like on a text thread, I will see a conversation ping back and forth for 2 days about one customer conversation. And I'm like, holy mother of God, you guys. I have invited 200 people, done a webinar, run a sneak peek, started a new challenge group, like leveraged my marketing. Like, while you guys have been talking about this one person, you might be overthinking this. Like, move on. And we do it about everything. We want to talk about things for hours and days. Yes. Okay. My husband just said, pipe down. My kids are probably trying to go to sleep. I get a little excited. We overthink everything and we overcomplicate everything. So when I talk about vision, And again, this is just my story. I was listening to YouTube top success tips. I used to like always do that whenever I had 5 seconds alone in the car without kids. And it was a video by Lindsay. And she said, you know, I need to go find that video because I've referenced it probably 50 times. And I don't even know like if it's legit, but this is what I heard. I heard her say, the opportunity that you have in front of you is the opportunity of a freaking lifetime. And I was brand new. And she painted the picture of herself, Melanie, who was number 1, and Amy, who was number 2 at the time. And she said, think about these 3 girls. Melanie is your girl next door, simple Sally, like stay-at-home mom, small town America, marketing background, like just very type A, very systems driven. She's built a freaking empire. The number 2 coach in the network that time was Amy Silverman. Those 2 coaches could not be more polar opposite. Amy is like hippie wanderluster, no systems, no plan, fly by the seat of her pants. It moves to an exotic new locale every 3 months. Polar opposites. And then there was Lindsay, who was kind of a little bit in the middle, like, and I just saw this clarity of this is 100% available to anybody that puts the work in. And that's inside and outside work. And she said, you know, go home and write down what you want your life to look like. If money didn't hold you back at all and time didn't hold you back at all, if you had all the money in the world and all the time in the world, what would your life look like? And I know there's been times where I've sat there and thought like about winning the lottery, but like, that's not realistic. Right. So I've dreamt that a couple times in my life. Like, gosh, if we won those, you know, that $55 million, what would we do? But this was for real, you guys. And I knew it was for real. I knew that there was an opportunity for me in the course of just a few years to have the dream come true, to have all the time in the world and all the money I wanted. That this was the opportunity. And so I went home. You guys, I'm not a writer. I hate writing, actually. And I just like took out a scrap sheet of paper and I thought about it. And I started to think about things that I'd never thought about before. Like, would my husband go to his business every day? Would he still have the business? Would we sell the business? Would we live here? Do we want to live here? Like, we're here because his business is here and we have to be here. But if we were financially free, would we be here? Is this where I want to be? Like, I started to just think in ways that I'd never thought. And I just wrote. I wrote about like, if I had all the money and the time, we would spend a month in the islands in the winter and we would be this surfing family and we would surf together. Like, it was just this picture of like, it was so specific to me, you know, meaning like I talked about like the team that I wanted to build and those friendships and the financial freedoms and how we would spend our life and just all the facets of it. And here's the kicker. And Colleen's probably heard me say this 1,000 times. I read it every single day. I read that vision every single morning, and I continue to. I can show you it literally right in the front of my planner. It's like right here in my planner every day. It goes with me every single place I go. And I read it every single day. And I wrote things that I didn't even know. I wrote down I'm a 2017 top 10 superstar diamond coach. That's the first sentence. I was like, I don't even know what that means. Superstar diamond, that means you have to have 100 diamonds, right? That's what I thought. I didn't know what that meant. I had seen Summit on TV and I wrote something about being a speaker at Summit. And in parentheses, you guys, I wrote panel for some reason, panel with Carl Deichler. I think I had seen a YouTube shot of Carl interviewing some coaches on a panel. Last year, they called me and asked me to speak in the Superdome on a panel. It's not luck. It's what you put out there and what you believe for yourself. Because when you have that vision so crystal clear in front of your eyes every day, you will wake up and do the hard things. You will send the 40 invites when you don't want to send the 40 invites. And I think Lindsay said it on the National Wake Up Call. The difference between people that really succeed in this business and the others are that we show up every day non-negotiable. Just non-negotiable. Like it's not an option for me to not work my business. There are no excuses. It's automatic. And I had this experience a few weeks ago. I had to put my baby, my chocolate lab, down on a Saturday afternoon. And she was my first puppy that I've ever had as an adult. She was 15, and it was like devastating, right? It was so hard. And I gave myself a lot of grace that weekend. I way overate sugar and like stuffed my face and stuffed my emotions and like slept and didn't work out. And then Monday morning, I felt like crap because I'd eaten all that sugar. But I woke up at 5. I did my morning meditation. I read my vision. I got on a team power hour at 9:30. I posted in my challenge groups. I got on 2 mastermind calls. I got on the national wake up call. I had a coffee meeting at 1:00. And it wasn't until 3:00 when I was going to pick my kids up at school, I thought, this is the difference. It wasn't even an option to wake up on Monday morning and do anything but show up for my business. And that's the difference. I think that most people that are semi-successful with this, they do the work that they want to do when they want to do it and the things that feel good. The difference between my success is I do all the things that don't feel good every day. I hate inviting, you guys. I freaking hate it. But I do it as fast and as many as I can so I can rip the Band-Aid off and get it done so I can do the things that I love. And so one of the things, Colleen, and I'll try to talk about this in the last 20 minutes, a couple different things about, just the mindset that I really showed up with, and I didn't really know it was any different until actually kind of some conversations with corporate, and they're like, you just have a different set of eyes. And I was like, what do you mean? They're my eyes. I don't know what you're talking about. But here's the difference that I came in with. I owned my own business. And after my Pilates business, I opened up a cold pressed juice company. It was like a dream. I'm an outside of the box thinker. Why not? I'll learn it. I'll figure it out. Let's do it. So we took out 6-figure loans to launch a very kind of big cold pressed juice company in Charleston. And we branded it to go national, and there were investors and lawyers and I think our website cost like $70,000. Like, it was a big business, and it was a dream. And you guys, after 2 years, as it was super successful, it was awesome. Everybody looked at me and thought like, oh my God, you own Blue Bar Juice Company. Yeah, it's the best. It freaking killed me and ran me into the ground. And it almost got me divorced. My kids started to have issues. I was stressed out to the nth degree because that company owned me every single moment of every single day. And it broke us financially in the end because I actually walked away from it, which was a huge risk and something that we couldn't even tell our family that I did, because they would have said, you're the stupidest person on the planet. You're going to walk away from a successful company you just built, lose everything, and you're going to be a Beachbody coach. Great idea. And so I think big rewards and big success do not come from playing it safe either. I'm not telling you all to go quit your jobs, but I took a huge leap of faith and followed my heart when all my head was saying was, this is the stupidest thing you'll ever do as an adult. But what I knew was that my marriage was falling apart, my family was falling apart, and I was falling apart. And so I made that leap of faith, and I followed my heart. I followed my dream of it was so scary because I was so unsure. But what I came into this with was, do you guys cuss on these calls? I don't know why I keep looking at Jason. What the fuck is this opportunity? You mean I can potentially be making 6 figures in 12 months and then just blow that up, 6-figure, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures. And I don't have to invest anything I don't have to make my product. I don't have to ship my product. I'm not customer service. I don't have overhead. I don't have employees. I don't have a legal team. What is this? This is insane. And so that's a huge mindset, that when my coaches are like, oh my God, I was on hold with customer service for 45 minutes and they're angry. I'm like, oh my God, we have this thing called customer service, and I don't employ them. There's this magical team that just answers the phone and answers your questions and ships your shit. I literally was it doesn't seem real to me. My husband owns his own business too. And, not that long ago, he's like, I got to buy another truck. And I was like, how much is that going to be? He's like, it's $250,000. And I'm like, I'm just going to go pay my $15.95 and keep fucking crushing it over here. He and I are both what is this? And it's so frustrating to people that don't understand it from that business owner entrepreneurial mindset. They're like, I have to pay $15.95 a month. I'm like, try paying like 70 grand for a website. Like, it's $15.95. You know what I mean? So I show up every single day with that mindset. When I got my 10-star bonus, which I was just like, this is insanity. This is insanity. It's Thursday morning. Someone just deposited $17,000 into our bank account. What is happening? I texted Carl. Thank you. Like, you just took money out of your pocket and put it in my family's pocket as just a bonus for doing work that I love. And I meant that. I'm like, in my world, I owe you millions of dollars. You are no different than my juice company when I had investors to pay back. But I don't pay you back. This is really weird, you know? And so I came into it with a different mindset. And I always show up with it, with a different mindset every day. And so you guys, what I want to finish with really quickly, because I know we've talked about building leaders and I like haven't even really talked about that, is this is how I feel like this my first 6 months in the business, 12 months when I actually started working the business, is so important, because I know even for me, I'm always trying to recreate exactly what I did in the first 6 to 9 months of my business. And after a year, I had 7 diamonds and I was still thinking that sucked, because I worked with like 50 people and I was like, well, I'm a failure as a leader. Only 7 of them ended up diamonds. And the company was like, you advanced 7 diamonds in your first year in the business? And I was like, is that good? Doesn't Melanie have like 300? Like I still had a disconnect. And so I had to look at that. I was like, oh, I guess that's good. Okay, what happened? And here's what happened. My life was on fire. It was on freaking fire. And I wanted everyone to do this. So I was signing up challengers and I was giving them, they were having transforming their lives. Moms were coming back to life. Moms were losing, even if it's like 10 pounds of baby weight as a mama, like you're like, praise Jesus, I found my body again. I never thought this would happen. And I'm reading personal development and my mindset's different. And they just started to like come to life. And what happened was they'd be like, oh my God, Moira, 3 of my girlfriends want to sign up. And I'm like, dude, I'm not signing them up. Why don't you just sign up as a coach and let them sign up with you? And why don't you, because cooking is your thing and you're so excited that you're back in the kitchen, why don't you just share like recipes 3 days a week? And they're like, really? Oh my God, that'd be so fun. And it was totally organic. It was 100% initially organic. They had success. Their friends and family wanted to do what they were doing. And they had something, most of them were moms. They had something besides just being a mom. And they were excited to be connected to this community. They were excited to pass this on and just do this passion work. And then, of course, it's like, wow, there's this thing called Success Club. And it's like, oh, I can do that. Let me try to get to Success Club. And what happened was there was like 7 or 8 of those girls, 6 or 7 of those girls. And I was like, let's all run the challenge group together. Like, Maggie, cooking's totally your thing. I suck at cooking. Will you please share recipes? She's like, yes, I totally will. And then somebody else had some passion thing that they did well. And I was like, oh my God, will you totally do that on like Tuesday and Thursdays? And so we all had a job in the challenge group and we became this like super tight knit community, the 7 of us. And we were texting every single day, like, how can we make this better? Let's run a contest. Oh my God, this is so fun. Like, it was 100%. Nobody was trying to build rank. Nobody was trying to like rake in the dollars. It was just life-giving. And we became so freaking tight that none of those girls were ever going to be like, you know what? I'm out. I don't think this thing's working for me. They just weren't. Like, we became best friends. And that is something, I think this is what I'm going to talk about on the National Wake Up Call, that we talk about team culture and it sounds all flowery. It's not, you guys. I was driving over to the Hard Rock with one of my coaches from San Francisco, 3,000 miles away. You know, she's not in the same town because I do have a very big local team. And a lot of people are like, well, you know, I don't have anybody in my local team. And I'm like, well, neither did I. I was the only one here. So stop with the excuses. I wanted what my coach had in San Diego, so I freaking built it. You know, like, you can do it wherever. You got to take the ownership of it. But here's my girl in San Francisco, and we're driving over to the Hard Rock, and we were just talking, like having this amazing conversation. And she's like, you know, once you come into this, you could never leave it. And I just looked at her and I was like, and that's what you have to pass on. And she didn't even mean Beachbody, you guys. She meant my team. You know, once you become part of this incredible group of women where we all got together in Mexico, and the friendships and the community and the support and the love, she's like, you could just never leave it. I've only ever had one diamond drop, and it was clear as day. She was the one coach that never kind of got in the middle of the club. You know, she never built the relationships. And when you build relationships, that's how you form a very strong team. So what I really want to pour into you is that those 6 or 7 girls were nowhere near anyone that I would ever think would be a Beachbody coach, ever in a million years. They just weren't. And I remember, so this was kind of like fall. I had started in July. So I had these 6 or 7 girls like come on and have these transforming experiences in the fall. They signed up as coaches. And in January, I said, you guys, I want to do like one-on-one calls with you. Let's just like meet once a week and check in. And it was kind of frustrating because I remember clear as day, 1,000 times over, I would call Cece and she'd be like, oh my God, girl, I totally forgot about our call and I haven't done anything. And I'm like, that's okay. You know, but I'd be like, that's okay. And I would just totally honor her where she's at. And I'd catch up on her life and she'd catch up on mine. And then I'd plant a seed and I'd be like, well, you should totally invite your neighbor. You're telling me about your neighbor that's like complaining about being overweight. Like, why haven't you invited her? She's like, oh my God, you're right. I totally should. I'm going to call her when we get off the phone. And I would just inch her forward. And then the next girl, same exact thing happened. Oh my God, Moira, I haven't done anything since our last call. And I'd plant a seed and she'd be like, that's such a great idea. I'll totally do that. And I would bump her forward a little bit. And then what happened, and don't miss this, you guys, we were super, super tight. What happened was Cece, the girl that hates to exercise and loves junk food, went diamond. And everyone else was like, oh, no, she didn't. Oh, no, she didn't. And Moira just took her to the spa. Like, I want to go to the spa. And so because when you're that tightly knit, no one wants to be left behind. And I've said this a million times actually this week because my husband just asked, he's like, so what are you doing? Like your team's on fire. And I was like, it's momentum. Momentum is way more powerful than me. When one person hits diamond and star diamond, like this girl, Cece, she's the one that called me 3 days ago and said, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go 5-star by May 24th. Let's do it. It's going to happen. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm not excited for Cece to necessarily go 5-star. I'm super excited for that. But I'm like, when the rest of the team sees that you just went freaking 5-star, they're all right behind her. They are all right behind her. So I know a lot of people are like, I can't do one-on-one calls with my coaches. I don't have the time. It's such a drag, but they, you know, whatever. The most important thing to understand with one-on-one calls is you are building relationships with your team. So I have to remind myself of that when I'm like, you didn't invite, you didn't turn in your tracker, I want to freaking strangle you. But guess what? I build a relationship with them, and I definitely have like bars that I set. I mean, I'm like, if you don't turn in your tracker, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. Like, let's just skip our call this week. Like, it got to that point, but it got to that point like 2 years later. Just building the relationships with your girls where they will be your lifers and building their relationships. I mean, you guys, I was trying to do this 2B mindset, and Colleen's probably experienced this. I was like just trying to put this 2B mindset group together, and I was like, let's do it team wide. And like this girl's matched up with this girl and they're all doing it. And I'm like, what about me? What about me? You guys just like all went off and like, because you're all such good friends now and like formed your own groups. And that's an awesome thing because no one's going anywhere. And my elite coach, I only have one elite coach, and she said, I'll have a lot more this year. But she said to me, she was like, you know, because of what you've built, if I ever thought about leaving this, I would lose my whole entire social circle and all my best friends. And that's what you got to try to build. So that relationship piece is key. So when we talk about building leaders, you know, yes, we can talk about different things like giving them ownership, asking them to speak on team calls, asking them to run Emerald trainings. Like I definitely do all those things to like up their leadership skills. But what we're really talking about when people are saying, how do you develop diamonds? Because I advanced the most diamonds in the network last year, which was like news to me. Last week, I just heard that. I was like, really? And so what you're asking is, how are you developing diamonds? You know, I'm developing diamonds because of the picture that I'm painting for them. So I'll end with this. When the mindset shift that I had from like going from SC6 to SC40 and, you know, doing that every month since, I had a mindset shift, right? I thought SC6 was hard, so it was hard. I saw somebody getting Success Club 150 something for the first time in month 4, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? This is ridiculous. I'm setting my bar at 6 and thinking that's like the bar. And so it's hard. I need to up my bar. And so the same thing with Emerald and Diamond. Emerald's a decision, just like that. And if you get that Emerald is a decision and it can be done in 24 to 48 hours, then why can't Diamond be done in like 2 weeks, honestly? Because Emeralds are the hardest part of Diamond. So if you can teach people just how to duplicate those conversations about getting to freaking Emerald, if Emerald is a decision, Diamonds are just emeralds. This business is built on emerald, 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 emerald. So why is there this disconnect that like, okay, yeah, I'll be emerald tomorrow, easy peasy. And then like, oh my gosh, yeah, girl, I'm trying to get to diamond. I'm like, no, you're going to get to diamond. Let's just get you to diamond in the next 30 days. If you plant the seeds of like, this is going to be hard. And I don't say that this is easy. I'm like, if you want this, you can get to diamond in the next 30 or 60 days. You just got to put in the work. And the work is really the invites, bottom line. It's invites. You got to talk to a lot of people and you got to have a lot of conversations and it will happen. It'll happen. It's just like I talked about in the beginning. It's just that tracker. You know, you're tracking yourself, you're checking all the boxes. When you check all the boxes, you get the end result. When you check 80% of the boxes, you don't get the end result. So developing leaders or developing diamonds is like, I think it's 2 different things. It's like, well, what story do you have about getting to diamond? Because that is the story you're passing on. And I love having these moments where I'm like, I feel this big and I'm blown away, but then I realize what's possible. So I was talking to one of my friends the other day. She's advanced 20 plus diamonds this year, personally sponsored diamonds. And I was like, I feel like the biggest failure on the planet. And that's something that's important to know too. I told my team this the other day. I was like, so you guys feel like you're in Success Club 5 and these people are in Success Club 20 and so you feel like a failure. That situation is no different than me getting on the phone with my girlfriend, my coach friend that I love to mastermind with, and she just told me she advanced 20 diamonds. And I've advanced 1 as a top 10 coach, 2 maybe. I feel so small and so less than in that moment. And I cannot afford to stay there. And I need to rise up really quick and focus on my wins and focus on what I'm doing right. Because comparing me to that is not going to get me anywhere. But what I love to hear is, holy mother of God, she advanced 20 fucking diamonds? That's possible? Why am I trying to advance 1 here and 1 there? Why am I not advancing 20 diamonds in the first quarter? Let's up the game. I remember Micah Folsom talking about how in just passing, she was like, yeah, when I came into the business, I got into a training that was Star Diamond in 60 days. And I was like, what did you just say? That's a thing? And I was like, wait, yes, that's a thing. Why is that not a thing? Why do people think that it should take them freaking 12 months to get to Star Diamond? Come into the business, find a bestie, run to Diamond together, you're 1 star. So you just have to shift your story and your mindset around this. So I hope my kids aren't awake still. I don't know if you guys got anything out of that. I haven't been reading the chat. Oh, 68 comments. I hope they're good. That makes me happy. But
You're lighting everyone up, girl. They love it.
Thank you. Well, I don't want to keep you. So if there's questions or anything, though, I'm happy to take some.
Everyone was just like, they're saying, we call them passion sweats on my team when we get all excited. So everyone's saying we have passion sweats right now. And hopefully Nixon hangs out because he just had a little meltdown. But a brand new coach, she just joined us, was asking, what exactly does the invite, you didn't say invite blast, you said bulk invite. There we go. What does that look like? She's brand new. So what does that look like? What does that mean?
Yeah. So I feel like there's a shift. Like in the beginning, invites take longer, right? Because you're not going to invite somebody and say, hey, I have this 30-minute program, Shakeology. Like you're not doing that. You're truly inviting them organically, meaning you're speaking to that specific person, because in the very beginning, you're speaking to like your closest friends and family. So every invite's going to look a little different. You know, I mean, there might be like a script sentence in there, but every invite's going to be different. Like, it's like, Erin, you know, you've been in my heart. Like, I mean, it's got to be your voice. Like, you've been in my heart. I've started doing this coaching thing. It's freaking changed my life. I just can't stop thinking about you and how much I think you would this would be your jam. Like, I want to talk, let's talk about it. And I think that's the other thing. Like, you have to be bold. I think the thing that I see in so many new coach invites is, so let me know if you're interested. I don't want to bug you, but let me know. So, and I'm like, no, like, are we in? Are you in? Let's do this. Like, you've got to be bold with your words and your verbiage. But once you get those organic invites going, I mean, it's really simple if somebody comments on your social media to be like, you know, thanks so much for the love of my social media post. That means the world. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. Totally just trying to help as many women as I can. Thanks again. Like, that's just kind of your standard easy message to anybody that likes a picture about your fitness journey. So those are easier because they're kind of, you know, scripted. But the bulk that I do now, it's the easiest thing in the world for me to, like, day number 1, when I sit down to invite at the top of the month, I'm like, I got to send out 50 by the end of the day. And usually I'll do it in like an hour or 2 hours. Those are all follow-ups. So that's from my nose list, right? So a nose list is a really great thing. And I can go back to my note, the people that all said no in March, and send them a follow-up. Hey girl, just checking in. And, you know, I usually do a lot in Messenger, which I know is kind of a no-no, but for me, I can see where the conversation ended and be like, hey, how was Maui? You know, if I see like they were on a trip, like, it's very easy to just reference where our conversation was. But follow-ups are super easy. You know, I've got this new group starting. I'm so excited about it, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so then I go back to my February no's. Then I go back to my January no's. Then I go to my December no's. Then I go to my November no's. Like, it's great to have a nose list. So you have to get those organic invites out first to get that pipeline going. But then there's the shift where, like, day 2, I'm like, oh, I got to like actually invite for the first time. So then I'll go to my social media posts and send that message with people that commented on my social media posts. I run a free group every single month. So then I go to my member list in my free group and I invite every single one of them. You know, you've earned the right to invite them to something if you have poured value into their life for a week or 2. So that's kind of what I do. It's like my nose list, my social media, and then my free group. That's where my invites come from.
That's a really great answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love inviting now. It's funny. I sucked at it in the beginning. Like, back in the day, in 2013, 14, no one talked about inviting. And now that, like, I've had to learn how to do it myself and teach it, I just love it now. So I know you guys probably hate it, but it can become really fun. What are you doing? My best tip for you guys is to master yourself first. Some of you are writing in the comments, I overthink, I'm not sure, how do I do this? There comes a point where you really have to master yourself and be confident that you, like, I crushed my workout for 30 days. I freaking love my shakes or any product that we have. We have so many amazing things now. I read my PD. One of my challengers is like, wow, I've never read a book before. This is completely rocking my world. It's awesome. And so you're going to start to gain this momentum. So master yourself first. And before you know it, sitting down to send out 50 invites to people is going to be exciting because you feel on fire. These passion sweats that we're all talking about, we've been mastering ourselves first. So I love that you talked tonight about having vision, but also taking action. Because we're like PD junkies, but I know that my team often gets paralyzed by the action. So don't just do PD, guys. Read your book, yes. But then you got to say, okay, what am I going to do right now? Mm-hmm. And so now I will be honest with you guys. I would say 90% of my day is action taking and 10% is this. And while I'm taking the action, my mind is, you know, doing the work too. But I know that to become a strong leader like this amazing woman right here, I love you so much. You're awesome. I know that it takes a lot of action. So there's a lot of you, what was that?
I mean, a lot of action. Like, that's so evident to me. When I hear Melanie speak, I'm like, I think I go a million miles an hour and I'm super good with my time. And I'm like, man, she probably gets done in 2 hours what I get done in 8. Mm-hmm. And that's truly the difference in the success. Like, she accomplishes so much in such a short amount of time, which it might take her 2 hours. It's taking me 8. It's taking most coaches 2 weeks to do what I do in 8 hours. Like, this is about, like, get the social media posts out, get the invites out, form the free group, check into your team page. Like, you've got to be kind of a machine of action get the PD in, get your workout in. Like you've got to, you know, just turn it out. And just like you said, we get paralyzed in like thinking and, you know, just all of it. Yeah.
And if you guys don't have 8 hours, guess what you start with? 1. And guess what? Our training has her tracker in it. I said, I'm using your tracker. Give me your tracker. I will give you all the credit in the world. And guys, that is in our team training. And I don't think I've seen any trackers for a long time, but I refuse to hunt people down. I refuse to knock on people's doors. You guys are going to do the work or not. So use those trackers because clearly they work for her.
They do. And I think a big part of that tracker is it is the mindset piece kind of around it. Like I'm really big into goal setting. And so even for me, like this month, I was like, I'm going to hit SC 80. And then I make my team rewrite their yearly, monthly, and weekly goal every Sunday night on their tracker that's on there. And I like, you know, I'm at SC like 4 by the end of the first week. And I'm like, oh shit, my goal was SC 80. Like it makes me do the work. It makes me show up. It makes me really quickly go, oh my gosh, this is where I need to focus this week because this was my goal and I really want that goal. And so this is where I need to put my time and my energy. So getting those goals, getting clear on those goals, rewriting those goals, it makes you work smart. Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to avoid you guys hearing Mr.
No worries.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Every time I hear you talk, you inspire me. And when I got back from leadership, I wrote out my entire vision in my notebook and all different unicorn colors. You'd be so proud. And I read it, I don't want to say every day, but a lot, especially right now. And it's go time, guys. Summit is coming up. To Be Mindset. There's so many awesome things. So takeaways from today. Have your vision, write it out, read it, live it, take action. And we have the most amazing team to support you guys, but no one can do the work for you, right? No one can take the action for you. Okay, I don't want to take any more of your time. Go kiss your kids goodnight.
Thanks, guys.
So much.
Bye.